Okay. Thanks, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Amherst Historic Preservation Commission meeting for September 10th, 2024. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mancuso,
Present.
Present.
Schwartz,
Here.
Waterman Culpa. Here. Hershey.
Here.
Kenzie.
Here.
Right.
Here.
Yep. And then from the town, we have Marinucci, Fidel, Quinn.
Quinn here.
We do not have representation from the town attorney's office, but we do have somebody. Well, we did have somebody from the planning office. We also have Mr. Quinn from the planning office. Okay, thank you. First item on the agenda is the approval of the August 20th, 2024 minutes. Does anyone have any changes or requests? Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion. Kate Waterman Culpa.
Can I have a second?
A second. Implement.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, on to new business. Our next item, item number 1, is the War of 1812 Cemetery quarter-mile historic marker. We had directed the highway department with some direction on how to treat the plaque. We got a few people to give us some direction, and the town highway department went ahead and performed the work. I think they did an excellent job. They performed it right in place. There's a before and an after. Everything's clearly marked. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, done.
Can we send our appreciation to them?
Yeah, I emailed the highway superintendent earlier today, but if, I don't know, is there anything else we need?
Well, I'll say Steve was very enthusiastic about taking on the work. He had.
Yeah,
Well, there's one other. It's in the village of Williamsville. At least one other that was installed by the State Department of Education way back in the 1930s. So there's only one other that was that old, I should say, to that extent. There's a few others. Like I know there's one at St. Greg's, but independently installed. So it's not a town right away. That's why we had to address this one, was because it was in a right of way, not on a private property where we could direct an owner to maintain it. This was something that the town needed to address. It was a complaint we received through the supervisor's office. The Historic Preservation Commission, of course, provided a recommendation to the town highway for how to rehab that sign that was obviously very desperate need of repair. So Steve, the highway superintendent, was enthusiastic. He identified staff members that were fit for the job, and obviously did it within the week. So I thanked him personally for his efforts and for the care that they took into the sign. So yeah.
Thank you. And thank you to Mr. Floss and the town highway department for performing this work. Excellent. So I'd like to make a motion to remove this off the agenda because it's complete. Do I have a second?
I have a second. Kate Waterman Culpa.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 7-0. Nice work. Okay, item number 2, 4467 Main Street, local landmark designation. We have Miss Wright, who has been performing some research and adding to this application. And after consultation with another board member, we feel like it's not complete enough to move to a public hearing yet. There's still some more information out there to get. But can you talk about the research that you've completed so far? Thank you.
I don't have like the names and everything offhand, but I was able to gather research regarding the president, vice president, and other members of the initial opening of the bank. A lot of them were highly big businessmen in the Snyder, profile businessmen in the Amherst area. Some of them living downtown and moving into the Snyder area, making that their home, especially at the time when Snyder was increasing in population and a lot of high-profile residents were moving into the area. The Midland Marine Trust Company obviously dates back to downtown Buffalo with some names of Sholkoff, Rand, really high-profile people in the history of Buffalo in general. So I think that it would definitely hit the criteria of important people of not only Buffalo, but at a certain point worldwide of the company migrating into HSBC as well. And it has been an anchor of our community since the earlier than 1930s, but really anchoring that Maine and Harlem area. And a border between Williamsville, Snyder, and in moving into Buffalo. So,
Yeah, thank you for putting in that work. So we feel very strongly about criteria 2 under 121.6. The property is identified with persons or events significant in local, state, and national history. It doesn't have to have more than that in order to move forward with a landmark designation. I don't know if anyone feels strongly enough to move forward with only criteria 2. Is it true? Can we, so we're still in discussion. Can we add additional criteria as we gather more information?
Yes. I personally like to see architectural criteria move forward with an application, because I think that is what this Historic Preservation Commission has the most authority over when a certificate of appropriateness comes in, because those are architectural modifications. So I like to see a building completely documented with those character defining features that we would hold to the highest regard when a certificate of appropriateness is brought before us.
and I think this was discussed at our last meeting that was going to be worked on. So if no one is doing that, can we assign someone to that project? Because I would love to see this start to move forward.
Sure. I have a pretty loose outline of the defining features of the building. What I don't have is changes or alterations that you see today, that because we have to define an era of significance for this building. So yeah, 1929, right. So there has been slight alterations to it since then, which have to be documented.
We have to note where the additions are on the facades.
Yep.
And then also, I think the drive-through needs to be identified
As a
as a
non-contributing.
non-contributing
I agree
portion
with
of the
that,
building.
yes.
So
Yeah.
if it were to go away
Mhm.
and say there was an infill piece in that parking lot, up to the street, or meeting the separate back requirements of that zoning zone, that would, just be given as right.
Okay.
Okay. Then do you think we could work on that together if we had just a working session? Like, we're allowed to do that. We don't have a quorum. Okay. I don't know if anyone else is interested in contributing. I think we have a good start.
I think I would. So if the three of us could work on that.
Okay. All right. We'll set up a working session.
Can we set up a date to do this and have like a end of kind of date for this project then?
Yeah, I think the goal should be to make a recommendation
Next meeting.
at the next meeting.
Okay. Which I think is 10/16, correct? 18? Oh, 8. Okay.
Okay. I will reach out. We'll set up a meeting within the next week or so.
Great.
The three of us for a working session. Okay. Then Does anyone else have any commentary or information they'd like to add? I'll make a motion to adjourn this item. Do I have a second?
I'd like to adjourn the item based on the recommendation criteria for designation for this property as incomplete, as I don't feel that the application as it currently stands identifies clearly enough. Number 2 embodies a distinctive character type, a period or a method of construction, and I'd like to work on that more for the next meeting.
Okay, so second amends the original motion. Do I have to do anything else? We have to vote. Yeah. It's accepted as amended. Motion accepted as amended in the second.
I don't think it's even needed as a motion, but
Okay.
that's why I'm proposing that it be held, because I don't,
The reason.
I would like to keep criteria 2 in it, and I don't think the application clearly identifies everything we need in it to judge a certificate of appropriateness when it comes in after it's designated.
Okay. Okay. So we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Okay. Before we move on to old business, we'd like to go off agenda and add an item to new business. So I'd like to make a motion to go off agenda
Second.
for the purposes of discussion of potential properties that we would like to consider for landmarking.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wright. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, so we're adding a new item, a new business item, and I will turn it over to Ms. Wright.
Yeah, I would love to add 2 items. This includes the Hedstrom Mansion, which is in term with the carriage house that is already on the local landmark listing. And I believe that is 42 to 46 Gettsville Road, if I'm not mistaken. This was a building that was built in 1904 and holds significance to our neighborhood locally, especially. So I would love to discuss some information on locally landmarking this. I don't know what else.
So the mansion already is landmarked?
The carriage house is already locally landmarked, along with the stone fence that lines the property on Main Street going down to Gettsville Road. And this is an eligible building already.
So what do you want to nominate?
The main house,
Oh.
yes.
Yeah, we want to explore
Yeah.
the possibility of landmarking the main house, which is very far back from the carriage house.
It's not that far.
All the property has been cut up over the years.
It initially included, I believe, 92 acres of property.
Yep. Unfortunately, I think 100 Gettsville Road was lost. It was a significant piece of the property that was demolished in 2012. That's very recent. So I think this is a great property to explore.
Am I allowed to go on the second property? Okay.
Yep.
And the second property would be locally landmarking and adding to the National Register of, oh my gosh, 4511 to 4521 Main Street, which is an Art Deco plaza sort of building that was built in the 1930s.
It's a commercial property.
2-story commercial property.
That's something.
And that one is also included in an eligible census tract of the town of Amherst. So it would be eligible for commercial tax credits. It is right next to, well, do you know Adam's Rib? It's right there. That's the building.
Oh.
Yep. Like Lewin Real Estate.
Yeah, the first floor
Between
has
Lincoln
had
and
some
Harlem.
modifications to it, but I think,
And it looks like the facade was added. It wasn't removed because it is, I believe, a cement or stone casted Art Deco facade. Yeah,
Take a field trip.
yeah.
Yep.
It has a beautiful like fountain engraved on the top of it with classic Art Deco styles.
so
Okay.
I think that our involvement as an HPC and as far as, you know, getting this to state and national register eligibility would then give the property owner possible incentive to even turn back that first floor, as they would have the option to do so.
Especially with other improvements going on and other blocks of commercial spaces along Snyder. But it is one of the oldest things that we have right now. So
Commercial.
yeah.
Is it? Do you know if it's in a reconnaissance survey or an intensive
It
level survey?
is,
Okay.
I think in intensive.
Okay. Great. So I'm glad. Okay, so it's marked. It's a
Yes.
blue rated.
I have it right here.
Excellent. All right, that's good news.
So what's the motion?
Yeah, do I have to make a motion?
Pursue research?
No, just we're adding new items. Local landmark. So the other one, like 4467 Main Street, local landmark designation. That's a discussion item under new business, which actually we should probably move into old business. But for right now, we want to add these two items to our next agenda and keep them on. I think because they're current, they should probably stay in new business, in my opinion. So these, I think, the motion should be to add both of these, into new business for our next meeting. Does that make sense? All right. So I'll make a motion, for our next meeting. We will add these two properties, under our new business in our agenda.
I'll second Kate Waterman-Culpa.
All in favor? Okay, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Now, I would like to make a motion to go back onto agenda. Do I have a second?
I will second Kate Waterman-Culpa.
All in favor? Thank you. Motion carries 7-0. Hang on while I jot. Okay, item number 3, local landmark plaques at the Main Street entranceways. Do we have an update from the town planning department? Sorry.
Yes. So last month we decided to place or to install one of the plaques at the LeBrun Road, the west wall. So highway will be the point of contact for the installation, just like the War of 1812 cemetery sign. So I gave Steve Floss heads up that this would be coming, that we would be developing a scope of work to send to them to then go ahead and execute and mount the plaque. Haley Wright provided us with some appropriate plaque mounting methods, which I will have up on the slide here. There's a number of different options, but I wanted to make sure that we were specific for Steve and his team so that they could install it to the proper methods. So if you'd like, I'd like the commission to discuss that method, and if we could come up with a specific scope of work for Steve and
And
the highway department.
And I added that they should be, into the mortar joints. Yep.
So are we saying that this is indeed a proper method, and except for the mortar joints?
So my only comment about the mortar joints is if they don't line up to where the
Yeah.
holes are.
That, yeah.
I believe they do match up pretty well. I went over there too to measure the actual height of like what the 5 feet would be too. And it seemed like I measured the poster or not poster, the plaque as well, and it seemed to fit within those mortar joints. So, I mean, otherwise, probably not drilling into the brick would be a good idea. But I think it does actually match up.
Yeah, but I mean, you can do it as long as it's sleeved. As long as you use a masonry sleeve, you can drill into the brick. You just have to protect it.
I was just
So it is
worried about
possible, but
the methodology was described as only do mortar joints, so if the mortar
it has
joints
to.
don't line up, then we should give them clear direction as to how to resolve that, so using,
is it called out? Is it called? I think it's called out in the drawing, the sleeving. If you go to, no, there's no sleeve. Yep. Expansion sleeves. Well, okay, it's not shown, but it's called out. Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. It's similar to what we did at Harlem Road. They sleeved the construction. Of course, that was into cast stone. That was into brick. But if you use a masonry bit,
and I would probably add not to drill within so many centimeters or
Of the
something
corner.
of the
The
corner,
edge or
of the
something,
edge,
yeah. Yep.
corner/edge of the brick itself.
yep. If it's James, do you think it's worthwhile for one of us to meet the superintendent out on site to like mark it?
Take a Sharpie.
Yeah. Is that possible?
I could say I can ask. I can always ask the question. I will say,
Or just take a Sharpie and leave a Post-it note.
I think it'd be worthwhile to ask and see if we can coordinate.
An outline? Okay,
did you?
in pencil, of course.
Yeah, they're too large. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'll coordinate with you. I'll reach out. Yeah, a lot of times I don't know if they.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't know. But I will definitely coordinate to make sure I get that marked up so we can include that with the scope of work.
Okay, so we'll confirm basically the scope of work, confirm the work that Ms. Wright's already put into this. I'm fine with moving forward based on our discussion. I don't think we need to make a motion just because it's an informational thing. I don't know if anyone else has any commentary. We'll move forward and try and get that done before winter. Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, item number 4, the education plan website and presentations. So,
So where we left off last month was that I was going to be publishing these photos to the town website. The top 2 were ones from our visit to the property itself and with the owners. The owners then provided me with pictures of the installed plaque, which is the 2 photos on the bottom. Yeah. So they were very thankful and very proud to be presented with the plaque. I'll be submitting those to the IT department. Actually, matter of fact, I already have. They're just I'm coordinating with them to provide captions. So if you don't mind, I'll be naming each of you in the photos, and soon that will be uploaded to the town website. So it'll be on the Historic Preservation Commission page, documenting our celebration with them.
and I meant to bring this up. If Mary Lou, if you have your presentation material what you wrote to the owners, I'd like to have that also listed on the website as well. If that would be excellent. Thank you.
So Mary Lou, I'll reach out to you. I can give you at least something that you can maybe drop those files in, or if you want to stop by at town hall, I can take a hard copy also. But I'll reach out and we'll rearrange. The second part of this was that we wanted to inquire about an Amherst Bee article. Angela and myself, we reached out to Jessica O'Neill in the supervisor's office. She will be coordinating with the Amherst Bee. She's already said that's great. It looks like a wonderful article. So if she hasn't already, she'll be reaching out to the owners to, of course, confirm that that's all right with them, and then she'll be coordinating with the Amherst Bee to get an article published. I can provide updates as that gets executed, but they have been sent to the proper channels.
Thank you, James.
It's a good question, Jeff.
Don't ask. It's not in a public right of way, so there's less risk.
Yeah.
Are we all set with 38 Richfield? Is there anything else? Nope. Okay, so the second thing that came up about the website is the CPI and adding the blue rated status to the properties on the whatever you call it. I don't know what that stands for. Property index? Property index? Property information? Sorry, yeah. We had planned on, yes. We had planned on doing this, I don't know, 12, 18 months ago. It fell off, but we just held a training session with a couple town board members, and this came up in our training session. And we'd like, since the information is readily available, I believe that we should be advocating to add this information to at least the town website, so the property owners know if their property meets our blue rating. Does anyone else have anything to add?
No, I'm just glad. I totally agree, because I think being transparent in some of these other items that we have coming down the pipeline about why we're approaching them and our methods, I think is really important.
Norm here. I assume words other than blue rated are going to be listed. In other words, a definition of what blue rated means. Oh,
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks.
There should, yeah, well, I would agree there should be. I don't know how to do it. Yes.
Prime candidate for historic designation.
Yep. Well, it's
When we spoke about it before, it was to state something like what Norm is saying, and then also to say, please speak speak to, and it was supposed to give like a phone number of who they should call at the town. So there was clear instructions of what to do with that.
Thank you. So we'll get that back on. I think, does it make sense to have like a working session with the town, James? How close is the information being ready to be published?
Pretty close. I would say it's ready to be launched. I have an accurate list of all the eligible properties in the town. All I need to do, I believe IT even had a sample of what that would look like on the
Yeah,
CPI page.
I remember that. Yep.
And so we have a concept, we have the data to back it up. It's simply about just executing it and making sure that it gets carried out properly. I don't remember why it exactly fell off. I think we were in the midst of a lot of public communications at the time, so we didn't want to add more variables, but we did strongly discuss this because of its obvious need.
Yep.
So I'll be happy to send what I have to the commission.
Yeah, could you circulate what that example would be?
Yes.
I think we can provide digital correspondence back and forth if anyone has any changes, because this continues to be an open item on our agenda that we don't vote on, but it always comes up in discussion. So I think it would be okay if this proposal gets circulated, people can comment back and forth, and if we need to create a working session, then people can comment that they want to do that.
If it's okay
with that, yeah.
I can even have something prepared for our next meeting where I can present on what it is, what it looks like, and if the commission wants to add any other details to that, what that might look like, then we can decide at our next meeting.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
If we
Sure.
decide to execute, we can make a motion, and I can direct the proper departments to that motion.
Okay, yeah, I want to give the town enough time to look at and execute,
Yep.
you know, fit it into your work plan.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Okay. That's our last item in old business. Does any board member have anything they'd like to add to the agenda?
Still part of.
Oh, thank you.
So through Haley, I finally got the courses offered.
Through Haley, I finally got the listing of courses, training courses that are available through Preservation Buffalo Niagara. They offer 8. I know I personally have done 4 of them. I don't know which ones you guys did before that. I know we kind of have segued into doing kind of our training through the NAPC materials. Hopefully, you guys have started kind of diving into that. That's where I would just assume take this. I already have like 15, 16 hours of training for the year, so I certainly don't need any more. I don't know which ones of these haven't already been done before I came on board. So I don't know if I could share the list with everybody if you're interested, but
So,
that's sort of like tying up this open item from the PBN's.
thank you. I apologize. I should have included that. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's a good reminder too. It's coming up to the last quarter of the year. We have to have 4 hours of training per board member. You have to keep track of what trainings you've attended. And then the list goes to Ms. Kenzie to keep, and then we submit it as part of our, as part. No? James, sorry.
It goes to James.
It goes to James, apparently. Okay. Well, it becomes part of our submission to the Historic Preservation Office in our annual report. So that's the information that they get. So just as a reminder, we've got 3 months left in the year to get your hours. Yep. And just keep track. Have you taken online training? I know you were at the one for the alternative materials. I thought you were. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, no.
Okay.
And just to clarify, because Haley's asking, your training can be done on your own time, so it can be pre-recorded. So there are some that are available on the website, and if you have any questions, everybody should have got, I think her name is Marie Snyder. Reach out to her and their organization if you run into any issues, but there were already a good dozen or a few more than that that you can watch. They're about an hour and a half, I would say, to 2 hours. So you do, at least 2 of those, maybe 3, and you're more than golden for what you're required to do. And that they can, and if they offer any of them live, register, because even if you can't make it, they will send you a recording so that you can do it on your own time, at your own pace, however, you kind of want to do it. So, you're not necessarily, don't go, oh no, I can't do it at that time. Register, sign up, and then you can do it.
Is it interactive? Like, are they asking you questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are live, yes,
Yeah.
you can participate in the chat. Obviously, if you're watching a pre-recorded, you're just watching what transpired.
Yeah. The live ones, they do have question answer at the end usually.
Yeah, usually they're at the end. Once in a while, it depends on the topic and the person, and sometimes they'll do it questions like as it's going along. I've seen it both ways.
Yep. So yeah, and I don't, if you need help or anything like that, thank you. I will help.
You don't even have to sign in. Correct. So so you don't have to worry about logging in or being the member. It's just kind of, I forget, it's been a while since I've looked at the website, but it's like the drop down box of the dashboard, I think is what it is, and it'll be webinar. So you don't have to register or anything. It should be a click on it and then a play, button kind of a thing.
Because our membership is an organizational one through the town, which it's kind of running through James and officially in the department. So we don't get individual login memberships. And just to note, so when you do, if you get an email and it's offering to register for a webinar, they will give you a code, and you need to have that code. So when you go to register for you type basically your name, you're going to say you're with the Town of Amherst HPC, and then it's going to say, hey, pay, but you can enter the code, and then it goes to 0, and then you submit to registers. But that's the important, they're going to give you that code.
When you register, when you decide.
No, well, when you get the email to register, they'll give you the coupon code, and that's what gives it to us for free.
So you could just search in your email for that same title or a couple words in that title and go back to the earliest email you have with that title in it, and you'll search in there for what the code is that you need to enter when you're registering to look at it.
And you can always call them or email. I've done
Call
that
me.
myself in the past of, hey, what's the code? And then they tell me what the code is. It's happened.
For Haley's benefit, because she started in the middle of a calendar year, does she still have to meet the 4 hours requirement? Does it matter when you join the commission?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
She can get it done.
You could do.
She can get it done.
I'm just trying to do a favor.
I think your first day was February?
No.
May. It's all good information.
That's true.
And one of the courses that PBN is offering is SRNR nominations drafting. So
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Was it?
Everyone got that list, right? Did
Oh,
everyone
which
get
we
that?
already did.
well, we might want to do it again.
No.
We got new members. Might want to do it again.
Haley emailed us the PBN upcoming seminars, upcoming trainings.
If we wanted to do like a group sort of setting, or it was just another option instead of doing it by yourself. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'll share, I'll note which ones we have done, like when it was done, just
Okay.
for background for everybody.
Thank you. Would appreciate that. Okay. Are we all caught up on training? How did I miss that one? Sorry.
I think so. I
Okay.
mean, I think maybe in the next month or two, then it sounds like we'll have to be getting James,
Yeah.
what each of us have done.
Do you have that form that Sue put together? I mean, it was a nice, simple form. She did a Google Doc.
I'd have to circle back on it. I don't believe so. What, like a form where in which
Like it's
you
a
as
fill-
members
a
would fill out
fillable-
your training?
Yeah, a fillable form with dates and topics. I think.
I'll have to look for it. If it wasn't something that I made.
No, Sue made it.
Yeah. So I'll have to look for that.
Or we could start a new
Because
one.
in that case, so I will say, it's been a while, but we had done most of them, and we were doing, it included the ones that we did with the other HBCs in the area. So she was kind of like created the listing that we all pretty much did, but it was like a bubble to say, did you attend? And you just selected it. Since we haven't had really any group ones yet, it's probably going to be a more of just
Yeah.
list them out this time around.
Okay.
Usually when you complete them, you get a certificate.
Mhm.
emailed to you or
Mhm.
something. So is that evidence? Certificate.
Right, and that's what we do for the other boards. Is we get a certificate from that training session, and you can just send that to me, and I will have that on file for us.
Okay, the one item that we didn't discuss was the potential roundtable in November with the other HPCs.
Brian Fidel did confirm that the date works.
Okay. I apologize, but I haven't done anything with that since our last meeting. Yeah.
Which, remind me of the date.
Is it November?
For the meeting, for this meeting?
No, the
Roundtable.
roundtable. We picked thank you.
I can just look at
And
Brian's
I'm-
email.
This is probably new information to Mary Lou. We're planning on doing a roundtable. Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna do a new one. Oh, yeah, I guess it could count as training.
Does it?
Last time we did, it did. I wasn't able to
But
attend,
that
but
was the presentation by
I don't know.
Laura
we ho-
Mackey.
we hosted it through PBN or something to that effect.
Right, because what's it, Linda Mackey did a presentation
Yeah.
for part of it.
So this is more of a roundtable discussion.
This is just the gathering part.
Yeah, with other local HPCs. I don't know, November.
Looking.
Is it in the minutes? Not in the minutes. It's okay.
November 14th. I have it in my notes.
November 14th.
Oh,
Yeah, has no invites have been sent out or anything like that? No, we do have a confirmation that the room is available, basically. Okay.
oh, right, that's what we were, okay.
Yep. Okay. I apologize for that one.
So we're gonna do it here.
Yep.
Thursday.
At what
Oh,
time?
okay.
I told you.
6 o'clock.
Thursday, November 14th.
In town hall.
At 6. Nope, right here.
And the reason we decided to do it was I thought that the roundtable we held at Preservation Day was pretty successful. We covered a lot of different topics. The crowd was a bit sparse, but I thought the conversation was great. We actually got a couple recommendations from other boards on how to conduct business. So,
Can you and I work on the invite together?
yep.
Okay.
If nobody else minds, does anyone else mind? We'll take it.
We'll do it.
Is that
Okay.
okay? Okay. Yep.
Do you have the listing of invitees, or how does that work?
We'll make one.
Haley, do you think you could ask PBN for the list of HBCs? For all of Erie and Niagara counties? If they have email addresses, that would be great. We have an old list, but there might have been some turnover.
Yep.
And if you get to us sooner than later, if you're not able to secure it, then we can call Frances and she should have
Yeah.
an updated list. Okay,
Okay. Excellent.
thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. So it's as long as everyone's amenable, I would like a nice turnout that night from our board. I thought it was really beneficial to discuss just in general processes, things, experiences that the other boards have. Obviously, not getting into specifics or any deliberations.
For instance, at the last roundtable, we learned that the village of Hamburg, the HPC is a one-stop shop. The board has taken themselves out of decision-making and to remove the politics from decisions, to rely on the expertise of the majority of the board as they vote moving
Yes.
forward.
Yeah, that's a change from our current statute,
Yep.
but it is possible, as another municipality has done it.
Not outside of the HPC. So from our conversation, kind of at work session, every municipality in Erie and Niagara, if they have a historic preservation code, they're under the Certified Local Government Program, which is a process by which they use the state's model code which can be modified if approved by SHPO, to do their work, except for the city of Buffalo. And the city of Buffalo gets their inherent powers from the planning department and then the common council within the city.
Strategic planning, yeah. It's like a separate arm almost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The village. Village. Mhm.
Authority to oversee historic preservation. They just don't get involved. Historic preservation decisions.
Right, the
Yeah.
Historic Preservation Commission makes their determination, and I'm sure that there is, like any decision by a decision-making board, except, well, by any, including planning boards and zoning boards of appeals, there is an appeal process built into the code. I think that's part of the state statute, is that you have to have an appeals process.
Something to consider, basically. Okay. So having said that, is there any other items that any board member would like to add to the agenda? No, hearing none, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Kate Waterman Culpa.
All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Meeting adjourned.